Okay, we're gonna need a new theme song for the channel. What do you got?
Somebody once told me that...
No, that's for All Star. We need a new one. That is our motif. Give us a new one.
Timmy is an average kid.
No, that is all wrong. That is perfectly set up for the video, but no, what are you trying to do? Get us a copyright strike? We need something for our product, our channel.
Okay.
Alchemedia.
That was our old theme song. Give me it here. Kids these days don't know the real stuff like this.
Alchemedia. Alchemedia. This is now the theme song. So enjoy the vibes. Hit like and subscribe. So live the life you live. Share with your many friends. Please take care from your friend Alex. Alchemedia. Alchemedia.
Hello, Alchemedians!
And welcome to another episode.
This is a magical time. It's February and we haven't released a video in a while.
Yep.
So, we have decided to give you something we're gonna give you more of for the following of March. And that is more review stuff that we usually put out.
Yep.
For this time, we're doing Very Odd Parents.
Yes, we're going to be doing the season 1 ranking, and no, we will not be ranking the Oh Yeah Cartoons original show, because as we know it was on there first, but
I don't think it was on Paramount.
No, I couldn't find it anywhere.
That's basically what we're...
So, yeah, we couldn't, but this is the season 1. This is season 1, so this is what we're going to go with.
And I grew up with this show as much as I did with SpongeBob, Phineas and Ferb. Not as much, but I still have very good memory of, like, Butch Hartman and everything else that happened with this show. And I'm excited. We're actually going to rank this together instead of separately like we do with our SpongeBob ones, because this one's not as long.
Yeah, this is only about...
like 13 episodes.
So, yeah. So, without further ado...
hit that like button, hit subscribe, and share with your friends. And let's get started with the list. Or shall I say wish, shall we?
Okay, bottom of the list.
Number 13, Father Time.
Okay.
This is the one where he wishes to go back in time to stop his dad from getting a trophy.
Yeah.
Because Cosmo thought it was a good idea instead of wishing for dishes to be done.
The thing is, I'm not the biggest fan of the time travel stuff anyway, so this is always going to be a...
And I considered this a bad episode in the sense of he does it for the worst of reasons, and he kind of starts off listening to bad advice.
And
even though you could have just wished for dishes to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ending of the episode is so confusing because, like, it ends up, like, everything's on fire and he doesn't even fix it.
Yeah. So, this episode is very...
like...
meh.
Honestly, I think the people who wrote this episode wanted to skip this episode because they don't even fix the ending of the episode.
Yeah, I think it was just a filler episode because they had to have 13 episodes. And
yeah, and
so
yeah, that's why this is probably the worst of the first season. Okay, number 12 would be The Same Game.
Now, this one's not an awful episode.
Not like the last one,
but,
no. I wouldn't say that,
But for a season 1 episode, the reason why it's here is just because it's just an average episode. It's not...
I will say the bad part of this episode is very confusing. It's the same with the last episode in the sense of how confusing it is. Like, there's his neighbors that have better teeth than him, so he wishes everybody were the same. That is such a massive difference of what like you wish versus what's the point of wishing.
The thing is about this for me is that it's the overall message is good. It's just handled so badly that
Also, if I remember correctly, I feel like this one just drags on a little bit.
it does, and it also kind of shows that at the end of the episode, his mom is kind of terrible. And it's the one episode that she actually had a redeeming arc, and then they messed it up.
I will say one good thing about this episode, though. Gilbert Godfrey plays the teeth people.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And yeah, everything about this episode has a good, like, moral to it. It's just, like, it's like, oh, you have better glasses than me. I wish everybody were different.
Well, no, it's just that, okay, it's just that, yeah, there is terrible ways to handle a great message, and this one hit all those marks.
Number 11, A Wish Too Far.
Yeah.
Now, okay, personally, this episode I thought was a fine episode. It just, like, him trying to be popular to, like, get cooler and cooler, but then he kind of wastes his cool, and his fairy odd parents disappear because he made too many wishes to be cool, and he spends a lot of time without his fairy odd parents to realize, hey, you know what? I don't need to be cool after all. I basically just described the episode to you. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
He has a lot to say about this episode.
This episode was... Because, honestly, I think they did... like, this was the first episode of Trixie. Yeah. And I think they actually gave her a good character in the first one that they kind of messed up later in later episodes. So I'm not going to complain too much about that. But the problem is with this episode is that everybody in this episode was so terrible. I mean, they completely went off who they were as a character to be worse. And it's like, when you do that, when you change a character to put them in an extreme situation so that they're terrible, you're like, okay, I mean, it's in the theme song that he's an average kid that no one understands. But if you go by this episode, he's an awful kid that demands too much, that's a brat. And his friends are just his friends because they can use him for stuff. And he's trying to be with the cool kids because the cool kids are just as awful as he was trying to be. There's no good character in this episode that you're rooting for. Even Cosmo and Wanda, the whole thing of them doing that fake out at the end of being mean to him, just as mean to him as they were to...
Yeah, I'll say the beginning of this episode, I could see a lot of where that is. For me, when, like, the ending goes by when they were in court and they realized, hey, you know what, Timmy's a good kid after all because he realizes he's with... Oh. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that kind of saves it for me. And, like, I see what you mean from the beginning, though. Yeah. Where they kind of hit really strong on the mean point. It's like, hey, and those popular kids are jerks.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, they are, but they don't have fairy odd parents. So why are they being in consideration about it?
I wish I were cooler, and they disappear.
But
I will say again, the meaning very basic. Yeah. Very basic. That's another thing I'll say, because that's the thing I basically explained. To, like, I explained the entire story to you, just talking. Right. Number 10, Dog's Day Afternoon, where Timmy replaces himself with Vicky's dog.
Doidle.
Yes. Doidle. That is a funny word.
Yeah.
Doidle.
So,
Doidle.
There are things I like about this episode and things I don't.
Okay. The main plot for this episode, I was not really paying attention to. Mm-hmm. I think it was the side story that really caught my attention, that when, like, Wanda and Cosmo kind of... Was it the thing where they split up? And, like, they kept making... Cosmo kept wanting Wanda back.
Yeah, because Doidle went one way and Timmy went the other way. And one of them had to stay with Timmy and the other one had to stay with Doidle.
And it was funny because Vicky had to get Doyle fixed.
Yeah.
During the end, and Timmy was Doyle.
Yeah.
And Timmy couldn't speak or say anything to his godparents. That was like his main problem. He couldn't speak because he was a dog. Also, he's colorblind, so he didn't know like who was who.
Yeah.
That was funny. There's a lot of funny moments in this. It's just I remember this being like very forgettable.
Okay, I do like the fact that it gave Vicky kind of a like she wasn't just evil. She had something she really loved.
Yeah, she had a dog.
So I did like that aspect of the show, but I didn't like the whole thing of like you're telling me that they've been fairly odd parents for thousands of years and no kid has ever wished to be a dog. That I think to write them out of the script would have actually made more sense.
Here's my thing I love about Very Odd Parents. I think it's the perfect opportunity to show what kids would wish for.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole show is about for to me. Like it's just a kid that is wishing for a bunch of random things you would expect a kid to wish for and it turning awfully wrong.
Yeah, but you'd think that they would have a way for the dog to communicate if they're going to change into a dog. That's the part I'm talking about. Like you'd think that's like one of the first wishes someone would have.
It also shows like if there was a genie in real life, like what would be the bad cases of that? It's like I wish I were a dog. Okay, what's your second wish? Huh? I can't understand you.
See, yeah, that's the disconnect with me. And if he was Doyle's Very Odd Parents, shouldn't they have asked him wishes? It really...
I did love the fact that Doyle was Timmy. That part was hilarious because he was just like...
Yeah.
Acting like a dog, but he was human the entire time.
Yeah,
And I actually, wasn't it at the end that he like learned English? like he's like, I'm not ready to go to my body yet.
Well, he could speak like Timmy could, which didn't really make sense either, because it's like he didn't know English as a dog, really. Yeah, again, this episode was good, but there were so many.
It was it was weird. It was a weird episode.
Even for this show.
Episode on number 9, Chin Up, where Timmy wishes to go into a comic book.
Yep. And he accidentally gives his favorite hero depression.
Yes, he brings his favorite superhero out of the comic book and makes him realize he's part of a comic book. And then it makes him sad. And like one of the best jokes in the episode is when he's like in the comic book and Timmy's reading it, and then you just see him like walk by. It's like, oh, what does it matter?
What's my motivation? I actually like this episode. But it does feel like extremely like long for some reason, but at the same time not long enough.
I feel like they could have added more to the sense of I think there could have been a deeper story to this. Like, if the world isn't reading his comics, he doesn't exist. So his comics don't exist. So he would just disappear out of reality, and he would be like, "No, wait, I need to exist, 'cause I'm the Crimson Chin."
Yeah. Well, the whole episode with this one comic changes the whole thing of comics in the entire world. It shouldn't just change Timmy's version. I don't know.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
But
it was a good episode.
Yeah, there was a lot of things.
I feel like there could have been more added to make more sense of this episode. And that's all I could say.
This was
for me.
If this was explained better, and I think if they had more time, if this was a special, if this was an hour-long special, I think they could have been one of the best episodes. as it is.
I feel like other episodes. I feel like other
at the
episodes.
same time.
I felt like other episodes had a plot that was more developed. Like this one's not as developed. Yeah. Number 8 is Tiny Timmy, where Timmy wishes to be smaller, like tiny.
Yep.
Which is the name of the episode, obviously. But he unexpectedly goes into Vicky.
Yep.
And this turns out to be a really good science episode.
Yeah.
Where it like shows like little bits of like the molecules that can.
Yeah. They've done similar episodes like this on other shows, so I saw where they were going with this.
Yeah, I felt like in other shows they don't go as educational. They kind of go with like their own plot. With this one, I felt like they're actually showing like a little bit more of like, oh, this tiny thing exists, this tiny thing exists. And also it makes you question stuff like, did Vicky eat a tour guide? Did Vicky eat a piano? Did Vicky eat a horse? Like, I get the saying you eat like a horse, but I think Vicky actually took that to another level.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. But it's more than that. It's just like this episode had that level of, yes, there was a scientific aspect to it, but I think it actually tried to do a thing from an old movie, and I think it worked for the most part. You know, other things were a little bit less hashed out, and that's okay. I mean, I still think it was a pretty good episode.
I still remember this one being very short.
Yeah.
Compared to most episodes, but this one, I still remember this one as being like the most like I learned from this episode. Number 7, Transparent. This is the episode where Cosmo and Wanda transform into Timmy's fake parents.
Yep.
And I don't remember the reason why his parents weren't.
Because they had to do parent-teacher conference.
Yeah, I remember that, but I don't remember the reason why his normal parents didn't go.
I just think they were busy.
Yeah, maybe they were busy with something else. And
apparently identity theft isn't against the rules.
Yeah, and also his friends had to find a dinosaur that Timmy brought to show and tell and help catch it.
Yeah.
Which was a hilarious like chase down scene, I'm not gonna lie.
I think this episode was great, but it had some slow moments, and
yeah, you know what's funny? I don't remember as much as Crocker as I do with the dinosaur shits. I think I remember at the end maybe where he like found the dinosaurs, like, oh, and it turns out it wasn't really a dinosaur because they kind of wish it away.
Yeah, and I remember that they were trying to learn how to drive a car, and it's like, why didn't you just teleport there before you turned into people?
Interesting enough, I also think they tried doing that in the movie.
Yeah.
Where they tried driving a car as people and it didn't work out as well. So that could be a reference to this episode. I will say this was a really good episode. It was one of the weirder episodes than what we experienced before.
But there is good in it, and there is a slow moments in it. Not bad, just slow.
Number 6, The Big Problem, where Timmy wishes to be an adult.
Now this one we kind of split on.
Yeah, I thought this episode was better than most of the episodes, but then you
I did not like this episode. This might have been, if it was, I would have put it way down.
Now, there's one thing we both tend to agree upon when we talk about this episode is the ending was kind of a cop-out.
Yeah, but it's for me it's more than that. But yeah, the ending was definitely rushed, and it was like, okay,
like cool. he has to like turn back into a kid again. How does he do it? He
throws a tantrum.
Yeah.
And it's like, if he,
I will say the joke about that is like everybody else in jail starts crying because he's like, I don't know I want my parents back, and then they like try crying to be a kid again, just so they could escape jail.
But the thing is, if he could do that, then Crocker should be able to get his Fairly Odd Parents back, because he throws a tantrum all the time, and he had Fairly Odd Parents in the later seasons, so you know.
Well, I wouldn't know that until I get to those seasons.
Yeah. But anyway, and I know this is that's later, not season 1, but
I will say, like, one thing, I feel like they tried to achieve too much with this episode, because it is a very complicated thing to talk about with the episode for me. That's the reason why I like this episode, because I like the fact that they tried to go very complicated for the first wish that Timmy tried to make for the episode.
I think that Cosmo and Wanda knew what he meant, and they kind of intentionally messed up his wish. I think that he wanted to be a little older. He didn't want to be he didn't want to be old. And
again, shows, like, if you wish on a genie, it's like, I wish to be an adult. You gotta be careful of how you say things.
And then it's like there was whole jokes that I don't think worked. I did like the B plot storyline, and I will admit that the B plot storyline was funny, where Vicky was worried about being in trouble, so she was trying to find him. Now that was funny. I will admit that was funny, but the original plot, no, I wasn't the biggest fan of that.
All right, number 5 is partnership. This is the episode where Cosmo and Wanda's anniversary comes up, and Cosmo thinks Wanda might have forgotten.
Yep.
And they go to Fairy World to, like, meet up with... Cosmo meets up with Cosmo's mom, because he cries about the fact that Wanda forgets, and Cosmo's mom tries to set him up with other fairy girls in the area.
End up to be robots.
Yeah. Yeah. And his mom just wants to stay with Cosmo because old mother-son relationship type thing.
Yeah. So
that part was fun. I will say also Tom Kenny as Cupid is great.
Yeah.
Because you could definitely hear it's Tom Kenny doing the voice.
Yeah, it was. It was like, oh, and you're like, no.
Wait, that's SpongeBob.
But anyway, no, I think this episode was good, but there was, like, it wasn't perfect by any standard.
There was a few questions, like, how do Cupid's arrows work if fairies can't do anything with love?
Yeah, they're supposed to be not being able to make people fall in love.
Unless, like, Cupid is, like, the one person that...
Even if that, then the rules don't apply to him, so why would they apply to anyone else?
It kind of makes you question that specific
logic and it's like, okay, and even if you can answer that, then you're like, okay, but do they work on each other? And it's like, because he was trying to use them on...
I will say the jokes about, like, the anniversary in general was hilarious.
Yeah.
But until the end, I didn't like the ending part where, like, he's like, oh, wait, our anniversary was today? And I'm like, dude, your whole point of this episode was that you remember that your anniversary was today.
They also didn't know what anniversary it was. One of them was, I think, it was the false anger anniversary, and then the other one was, no. Like I said, I did like the episode, but it doesn't make it perfect.
Yeah, it's so funny to talk about this after seeing the movie Goat. Next up is called The Goat Hero, where... well, the whole episode's based on Timmy wishing for a goat to go back to its natural habitat.
Yep.
And then the media kind of goes insane, and then Timmy gets followed back by... Actually, no. Vicky gets blamed for this and gets set in jail because she gets blamed for like...
Kidnapping.
Yeah.
Goat napping.
Well, that'd be funny because it's... A kid is definitely a younger version of a goat.
I know.
I love this episode so much because I feel like if you're talking about this episode to somebody else, it's like the most sophisticated thing ever. It's like, oh, this thing this person's trying to protect is getting taken away from the media. So the media goes to attack that person. But what's worse, that media attacking that person or the thing that's set to be set free? And we're talking about it go. And again, we just watched Goat, like, literally not even, well, just today.
Yeah, go see it. Go see it. It's really good.
It is really good.
So, no, it was a good episode. And honestly, the ending was one of the best parts of this episode. When usually a lot in season 1, the endings are very, like, tacked on. That was interesting to see.
And it was a really cute ending for a Very Odd Parents episode. So, yeah. Number 3 is actually a special episode, like during the end of the season, Christmas Every Day, where Timmy wishes Christmas is every day.
Yeah, and here's the thing: this stories have been done before. It's not a new story, but I think for this
specific thing,
he actually did it maybe better than the original because he had a point above, a point above just I want presents every day. He wanted to see his parents more, and in Christmas they set aside time. Less. Yeah, and they set aside time for him. So it kind of actually got the spirit, but it again, and I've said this through a lot of videos, it's hard to put a holiday episode, and I don't care what holiday it is, as one of the 2, simply because there's times you want to see it, and if it's like seasonal, I'm not gonna want to see it all the time.
Here's my thing about this specific. I feel like Very Odd Parents does their Christmas episode in a very spectacular way that kind of sets it to the mode of the show.
Yeah.
Where it actually impacts the fairies.
Yeah. Because
according to fairy world logic, the fairies actually cause the magic to push Santa's sleigh and causes the magic to give the elves. So it's like a big cycle of like magic stuff that happens. And for Christmas to happen every day, it drains fairies' powers. And honestly, Cosmo and Wanda weren't even that much part of this episode. Timmy was a big focus point on this episode too.
The only thing I can say that was truly, and this is a main gripe with me for a lot of episodes, is that I just don't like the parents. I don't like the parents. I think they're like, oh, well, they don't talk to him. They, like, okay, yeah, but there's a difference in that and, like, actually being, like, neglecting. And it's like, in a lot of episodes like this one, they cross that line.
At this point, they kind of get tired of Timmy.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we actually don't like you.
Yeah, they don't even remember his name. If you notice, in this episode, they never call him Timmy. They call him, they said they like eggnog. And don't get me wrong, it's funny.
Actually, the dad likes eggnog.
Yeah. Even the mom calls him eggnog. But, and it's funny, and it's a joke, but like that, and I'm trying, but yeah, and again, the whole thing with the holiday episode is that you're not going to watch it all the time, so I can't put it in the top 2 slots.
I will say one thing. I believe the Very Odd Parents did multiple Christmas episodes.
Yes, they did.
And I think they did a lot of them really well.
Yeah, no. 100%.
Like compared to like other Christmas episodes where they usually just do one Christmas episode.
And I think the real version of this story is called Christmas Again. And it is a lot more shallow story than the Fairly Odd Parents actually made it.
Number 2, Spaced Out, where Timmy wishes that I forgot what he wished for actually in this episode.
He wished for a bad guy to fight.
Oh.
He wished for a villain.
That's funny because he's not really a villain.
No, he just wishes for like the most evil villain in the universe or something like that.
And then alien shows up named Mark.
Oh.
Really good impression.
Anyway.
And he falls in love with Vicky, which is the best part of the episode because it's just Timmy. Yo, do you see what I love her? Like, this is a very serious love forming right now.
Anyway.
And then the freaking whole thing with what's the good news and bad news? Good news. I got a nickel. His name is Philip. What's the bad news? It's a girl nickel.
And Mark Chang and his father are done by the legendary Ron Paulson, who, if people don't know, is the voice of not only Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, but he's Raphael from the Ninja Turtles.
Righteous dude.
He's also on the Animaniacs. So, just a little.
This episode was hilarious, and I feel like this episode shows that even if it's not that emotionally impactful, I think even like some of the best episodes are the ones that just make you laugh.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to necessarily be like deep or anything like that to be one of the best episodes. In fact, sometimes it's better not to be.
And actually shows off like the first time that the rules of fairies can't interfere with love.
Yeah, except if they're Cupid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Tom Kenny get that special rule.
Yeah.
Anyway, time for number one.
Yep.
Number one, Power Mad. This one is strong hitting.
Yeah.
And this is the second episode of the season, actually.
Yeah. And, well, like, nothing is perfect. I think this is one of the closest things you can get to it with this series.
He wishes to be... Well, he doesn't even wish to be in the video game until, like, before the episode starts.
Yeah, because he's already in the video game.
Yeah, and then his friends join him, and he realizes he can't escape the video game.
Yeah, because his fairies made it, so he has to win it. But it also kind of shows that his friends aren't really great friends.
Yeah, but it shows the impact of Timmy, who will sacrifice for his friends if needed to be, because he has done that in this episode, where he spared his last life to save his friends.
And that's kind of the whole thing of him being a good person and despite everything.
I'll say, I think one of the best parts of this episode is I think they let Vicky straight up die in this episode.
Or at least get close to it.
Because Vicky gets like sucked up into the video game afterwards. And at the end, the black circle, you know, the cartoon's black circle that like closes in. That's what it shows, and then it just ends. So we're just gonna assume Vicky dies after this,
or at least has a hard time getting out. But no, I don't. But there's no complaint I have about this episode.
There's no complaint, dude.
I mean, even the
video game references that were made throughout this episode were legendary, and it really shows like. And
I think this episode was based. They did a lot of took a lot of inspiration from this episode when they made the video game. Yeah, actually, I saw parts of the video game too. I played a long time ago, but and yeah, this had a lot to do with this one episode had a lot to do with one of the major levels. And it was a fun episode, and again, it makes you realize, like, what if the small things kids can wish for, what would it be? Yep. Like, if you were to wish for something small or impactful to happen in your life, comment down below. The Fairy Odd Parents. Well, we hope you like this episode. And season 1 of
Fairy Odd Parents again. Fairy Odd Parents had a lot of impact on my childhood, as
Yeah.
much as like SpongeBob and Phineas and Ferb, and I just remember just having a lot of fun whenever it came on.
And if you have a show that was just as impactful, we would be happy to check it out and maybe make another video about that.
Remember, expect more videos to come out later because like this month was a very iffy month for us in general because of
but anyway,
February was a bad month for congestion.
Yeah, congestion and sickness and all that. But since we're back,
we're happy to do more.
Yeah, okay. Well, tell us your ideas of what you would like to see, and again, we will try to get to them as when we can.
Yeah.
We're going to leave you with that, and hope you have a good day. And
take care, Uppity. Love y'all.